I first started volunteering at the soup kitchen, I used to cry every day because I was so overwhelmed by the need, like especially the older people and kids. And then as I got to know our community and I started seeing people not as a person that was just a need, but as a person.
Mhm.
And everyone is individual people. And I don't know if it got harder or it just got it was just where it was. People need to be, we are a community and our community needs to feed. And I'm a chef. And what I want to do is feed people any way that I can. It's
Yeah.
what I love to do and it's what I do do.
This episode of Grounded in Maine is sponsored by ESG Review. ESG Review magazine is published quarterly in February, May, August, and November and is available for free in print and digital formats. ESG Review is devoted to environmental, social, and governance strategies, technologies, and investments. ESGreview.net is updated every Wednesday with 8 new stories and is home to feature articles, news items, and more. Visit esgreview.net to stay informed and help us spark the collaboration and awareness needed to develop sustainable economies and communities around the world.
There's a place where there's no trouble, no more pain, no more struggle.
Grounded in Maine podcast is an open conversation about how we show up for the world. I started this podcast out of a desire to learn new ways to be sustainable because the word sustainability is big. It can be overwhelming, and I just wanted to learn, different ways to try to be part of the solution and not feel like it's too late. So I'm talking to people who are doing different things and learning so much. I hope you are too. Hi there. Thank you so much for listening to Grounded in Maine today. My name is Amy Bolduck, and my guest today is Allie Wax Adams from Brunswick, Maine, which is my hometown. And she is a private chef, and she is kind of a big deal in the Brunswick area, I gotta say. Her business is called Balaboosta, and she's actually here for a different reason, but I just want to promote because she's local to my area, well, where I'm from anyway, and because she's here. So Allie, thank you so much for being here today. I'm thrilled to hear what you're here to share, which is about food waste with on a large scale.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Amy, for having me on. So we'll backtrack a little and I'll tell you about Mid Coast Hunger Prevention Program, which started off as a tiny little soup kitchen. And now we're feeding people from 14 different counties in Maine. And
14 counties in Maine? Because there's
mhm,
only 16 counties in Maine. I
yeah,
know this
we're
all.
not like the bit like there's some places are just too far. People are taking trains, people are driving. We have a really robust
Crazy.
we're calling it food recovery instead of food waste. So we rescued and recovered um, food. We have an amazing pantry. We have a soup kitchen that's open 3 days a week, or 4 days a week. Um, we're feeding so many people in Maine, and unfortunately, we're going to be feeding more, I think, as things change. And I started off there as a volunteer cooking in the soup kitchen. And now I am on the board, and I am also a renter in their community kitchen. And our community kitchen is one of the things that's been able to really boost our kitchen recovery, our food recovery.
For sure.
Yeah. So we have in our new facility a beautiful giant commercial kitchen that we rent out. But we also use it. We have a James Beard nominated chef who runs our community kitchen right now. And he's been helping us. In the past, we'd get 3,000 pounds of carrots at the end of the carrot season and just give people carrots. And now we're able to give people value added, ready to cook carrots. So they're peeled and cut and portioned.
Oh, that's cool.
Carrot soup, carrot cake, carrot puree, carrot juice. We just got a juicer, dehydrated carrots, carrot pickles. So our volunteers work with our community kitchen chef to recover not only the food that's donated from the local supermarkets like Hannaford, Shaw's, Trader Joe's gives us food. Market Basket does not give us food, but we would love to take it from them.
The
Um,
Market Basket.
yeah, I mean, I know they have a really they sell they do a process where they really deeply discount things. So I feel like in that way they are helping people who can't afford
Oh, okay.
certain levels of food, but
Great.
we'll take what they can't use.
Sure.
And then we also we incorporated a organization called Merry Meeting Gleaners into our fold. So we actually about 78, almost 78,000 pounds of gleaned produce that we process and distribute
From the local farmers.
from
That's
the
amazing.
local farmers.
Yeah.
Plus, we purchase from the local farmers. We have a program that allows us to purchase because we do have to purchase some food, and we purchase as much as we can locally.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
78,000 pounds?
Hmm?
Dang.
A lot when you're looking at a big pile of carrots.
For real.
Because it doesn't come like you only get one thing at a time. You don't
Right.
get like a
Right.
few of anything. It's time to process those tomatoes.
Right. No matter what's going on. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And we're talking about Mid Coast Hunger Prevention Program, which is the soup kitchen food bank in the Brunswick area. And like Ali said, they're feeding 14 counties, 14 out of 16 counties in the state of Maine, which I didn't even know about. That's crazy pants.
Yeah.
And so I know I'm very familiar with the Merry Meeting Gleaners because I volunteered with Growing to Give, which is local to we literally grow organic produce just to donate it to the food bank. So we're a contributor, and I know that a lot of the farmers will also, like, when they have excess or at the end of the farmers market day or whatever, they'll drop stuff off, which is amazing. I just think it's so important to not just have. I'm grateful that there's like peanut butter and cereal and pasta sauce and stuff like that for the food banks, but the produce is so important for nutrition.
Absolutely. And those products like peanut butter and tomato sauce and spaghetti are going to be less and less since the emergency food assistance program has been cut so drastically recently. So we're shifting gears as much as we can to say, like, what can we do with what is coming in from the supermarkets and from the farms to make the sort of food that people want to eat? Because a lot of times with a lot of food pantry programs, you're just giving people food no matter what it is. They don't have choices. And so that ends up going to food waste.
Right.
And when we have you walk through our food pantry and it's like a supermarket,
Mm-hmm.
and you pick what you want for what your family needs. And then there's also like our fun value added, like here's some beet cake that's delicious, like chocolate beet cake that we made from beets. And that way we're lessening the waste on that side as well. And from the way we produce, even when we have food that is technically is actual waste, that goes to pig farmers, our local pig farmers. So somebody or something or some living being is eating 99% of the food that comes in through our doors.
It's such an amazing organization, really. I mean, just the I can't think of the word that I need, but the large amount of people that are utilizing the services. Um, I mean, what kind of numbers? I know you were saying that you just got some
We
numbers, but like how many?
did last year, or I think we've done um on our estimate, and a meal being 1.2 pounds of food is a general 1.13 million meals.
A lot of meals.
And I think that there's a stigma that a lot of people have with food pantries, as that it's just people who are just too lazy to go get their food or to work. Or we a lot of the people, besides there are seniors
Right.
who cannot work and their assistance is low, or there are seniors who are homebound that we help. We have a delivery program, and there are a lot of working families. There are people who are working both both parents are working both two jobs and the cost of living is so high. If your collective income is what used to be middle class at like 85,000 a year and you have four children, that's really not very much money after the other costs of living. So we say, pay your gas bill, pay your electric bill,
We'll
buy
take.
your kids clothes, like we'll feed you, we'll help you. And I think that there's no shame in that. And I think I'm gonna cry because it actually like,
I'll cry with you. It's good.
yeah, whenever I think about people who are just struggling so hard to just feed their family, it's disgusting that they
Right.
have to look elsewhere.
It's not criminal. It's just
No, and it's funny when I first started volunteering at the soup kitchen, I used to cry every day because I was so overwhelmed by the need, like especially the older people and kids. And then as I got to know our community and I started seeing people not as a person that was just a need, but as a person.
Mhm.
And everyone is individual people. And I don't know if it got harder or it just got it was just where it was. People need to be, we are a community and our community needs to feed. And I'm a chef. And what I want to do is feed people any way that I can. It's
Yeah.
what I love to do and it's what I do do. So, if feeding very fancy food to rich people gives me the opportunity to then volunteer or donate or be a part of Mid Coast Hunger, then I can it's the whole circle.
Right. Yeah, totally. I mean, that just it affords you the flexibility to have like you have extra time because you don't have to work three jobs.
And there's always food around.
And there's always food around you. Yes.
Yeah, and it's a funny thing because when you work in a restaurant, you really food waste is money, are your dollars. So you want to waste as little as possible because every single dollar you spend, you want to be able to take it out. Hence the soup of the day. You're saving your carrot tops and your chicken bones and you're making stock. And as a caterer, you don't have that opportunity as much
Mhm.
because you don't have the volume and you don't have so like when I have fake product that I can't use, I mean, I use it at home or I give it to friends or I give it to my staff, or when we have extra party food, we bring it to our homeless shelter because it's a lower barrier. Like I can't always like bring yogurt parfaits that have been out at a party back to the soup kitchen, but I can bring them to the homeless shelter so we can feed people that way.
Wow. That's awesome. I love that you're just so thoughtful in that and I and it's really it makes so much sense that you're there. I mean, because like you said, your love is feeding people and, you get to do it for work and then you get to do it for, for the food pantry as well. And it's just a passion. And I have people that are um it's a love language. It's totally a love language. And that's how you serve people and that it gives you that sense of purpose to make sure that people are nourished and that it's important. And I have that as well. I'm just not a chef.
Well,
Um,
you don't have to be a chef. I
so
mean, there's so many ways that all of us can be a part of this. And I'm like we talked about before we started recording, really hoping that if anyone else who's working in this space here's what we're doing at MCHPP, that we can be inspiring. And and it's even with as things get tighter with people as far as food, uh, being able to feed themselves and their family, to, the more that we can do as far as education as well, and our corporate food waste and the enormous amounts of waste in this country that goes to making little teeny tiny carrots and Lunchables and all of our convenience food that translate into an incredible amount of food waste. And the way we grow, where everyone wants a big round red tomato, which started, in the 50s. The more that we can get people to start looking at whole foods, eating whole foods, feeding their family with whole foods, it they save money, we save waste, we save the piles of garbage that are being created from like convenience food and processed food. And I'm not saying I won't eat a hot dog or a Dorito. However, there's on the larger scale, there's so many people, especially people in lower incomes, are just pushed this real junky, crappy food that's ruining our environment. They're ruining their bodies.
Right.
And we're saying, here, let us give you beautifully prepared food that's made with love. Right. My grandma used to always tell me her food was so good, it was made with love. And I would roll my eyes and be like, whatever. But it's true. It tastes better. It's better for you. It's nourishing,
Right.
right? Like, I don't know if you can see my shirt, but it says nourish people, feed change.
I love that.
Yeah.
Is that for your business or
That's
is that...
no, this is MCHPP.
Oh, I love it.
40 years. I think this is a 2-year-old shirt or 3-year-old shirt. I don't know. But
MCHPP.
that's part of it. No, my business, Balaboosta, which I'll tell you, if you don't know, which most people don't, Balaboosta is a Yiddish term for a woman who makes things nice, who's good in the kitchen and sets a beautiful table and takes care of her family. Like you'd be like, oh, she's a real Balaboosta. Because her soup is so good and whatever. There's
Right.
beautiful flowers on the table.
Well, it's an experience.
Mhm. And so we're food made for you. We make food for you. And we do custom menus. So we don't have a regular set menu. So if you were like, this was my favorite food when I was a child and I want this at my wedding, I'd be like, we will make that for you.
Want it to be special. We want you to enjoy that and remember it for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
And now, for Balaboosta, is there anything that you've said no to? Like
More so for timing. I mean, I'm not gonna be like, they called me for the Trump rally and I said no. I would have. Or I would have been like, it'll cost you $4 million, which I will then give back to the people. Not really. I think when I look at the projection of this company, what I've been doing more and more of, and I'm hoping to continue, is donor events. So that we're really working within the nonprofit space. Like we're a for-profit business. I mean, technically, I don't think I made a profit yet, but when I work with a donor event and I can help Maine Community Fund or the Maine Health or Marine Mammals help raise money, then that makes me feel really good because I'm part of the good process.
Yeah. Wow. It's so meaningful. I mean, it's so different from, I mean, there are great restaurants for sure, but I think that they're often very money minded.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
You
it.
have to be. I mean, I have to be too, but I can find ways to, like I said, I mean, my husband would be like, please God, could there be less food in this house? It's overwhelming. And I'm like, I just have to pickle it or not pickle it. Not really. I don't pickle things because that's against HACCP. You don't have a HACCP license, but I make like salts and sugars and all those little things that you need with stuff. And there are restaurants that are money minded that are also able to reduce their food waste. Like if you look at something like Primo, where there's like stove farm to table that the chickens are running around outside.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, so I'm gonna eat him next week. But I think I don't know that every caterer starts out wanting to do it this way. And so I'm proud of myself for making those choices.
Yeah. And just holding to it. Like I think that's so important, as far as, purpose and staying with it, to not be like, oh gosh, I'm not making enough money or blah, blah, blah. But like I'm making a real difference here and people care and I get to help, organizations that I support and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I think as a person, like there's a phrase in the a thing in the Jewish religion, which is called tikkun olam. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but it's this process that the world is broken. And by doing the right thing, we can heal the world. And that can be interpreted in many different ways, right? Because Judaism is open to interpretation in so many different ways. So where I see that is that's my way of my mitzvah, my way of healing the world is to make these conscious choices and to do the right thing when I can. And that way I'm a part of that.
Yeah.
And I subscribe to that pretty. I think it's amazing. It's the only thing I really think is like great about any organized religion, really, is that concept is just like the concept of charity, but in a different way. Because sometimes I feel like charity feels like when I say it's charity, it doesn't feel inclusive.
Yes. Yeah, it definitely has a like a down feeling. Um
Yeah,
but I like the way that that you're saying, or that your thing is the to heal the world in your way. And I think that's
yeah,
really beautiful. And that's, we all could maybe we should just think about what we're doing in that way, as opposed to like, I'm just making money, or I'm just doing blah blah blah. But like, think of it as
yeah.
your way to
You're
heal
every
the world.
wonderful thing that you do is karma. It's the same idea, right?
Yeah.
We're doing good things to bring good things, and why not have a life full of purpose? I feel sad for the people who don't. Like more sad than I feel for the people who have to ask for help. I feel sad for the people who are can give help and don't give it.
Right, right. Um, yeah, I mean, and so to that point, like, I think it's really beautiful that you as a chef, and I mean, the head of the kitchen, the commercial kitchen, is also a, a well-known chef. But the fact that you have so much passion for what you're doing, that you are feeding the community, the
Mhm.
people that are need feeding.
Yeah,
I just think that it's such a simple thing. Clearly, Mid Coast Hunger Prevention Program is not simple, but the meaning of it is very
mhm.
simple. Like, people are hungry, someone needs to feed them, and we're just working with everyone in the area to make that happen.
Yeah, and that part of it is also so great when we have events and we have our donors and our farmers come together and you see how many different people in this community are consciously putting in an effort to feed other people, whether it's a can drive or a gleaning or money. We do like money. Money's awesome.
Yeah, of
We
course.
use it to
Well,
buy
I mean,
food.
money, it like multiplies like 3 times or something like that, doesn't
Yeah,
it? Like any
yeah,
donation,
something like that. Like if you give us $1, it's really $3 to $5
yeah.
of what we can do with it. Like even looking at our volunteers, which we have over 560 volunteers. Um, when we give that a dollar amount, that's $1.27 million of labor. Like, for the equivalent.
For
We
free.
wouldn't be able to pay that much
Right.
money for all those people.
Right.
All of those people. And they all you see them around town and everyone kind of it's such a great part of being a part of a community as well, right? So you're the volunteer community, they're learning how to cook in the community kitchen, they're
Right.
they're feeding their community, they're learning about each other, they're getting to know each other.
Yep.
And it's a beautiful thing. I mean, I hope that every small town has this,
Right.
you
Right.
know.
I mean, I think that it's got to be cool to live in the town where you're doing this work. And so, with 500 and something volunteers, you're going to run into them, and then you can
Yeah,
say, hey Joe, or whatever, like, nice to see you outside of
yeah,
MCHPP.
they were
But I
the
think
first
that,
people I got to know. I used to go
yeah.
out for beers on a Tuesday afternoon with like these five old guys who I served lunch with.
Oh my gosh,
They were like in
so
their
fun.
80s, 70s and 80s,
I love
and
it.
they were like my first friends here.
That's so awesome.
Yeah,
But I think also, 500 and something volunteers, like, that, without those people, the work could not be done, because that's
absolutely
a
not.
lot of hours.
And we are always looking for more if anyone is listening to this from the
For real.
Brunswick
Yeah.
area.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If you're anywhere in the Brunswick area and you have a few hours to spare, um, check in with Mid Coast Hunger Prevention Program, because they're good people and they're doing the good work. And feeding, holy crap, 14 out of 16 counties. That's a big cap,
I mean,
man.
not completely. We have people from 14 out of 16
Yeah.
counties,
Yeah.
right? So we're probably not feeding as many people from Aroostook, but there are people who are definitely coming up from Algonquin, from uh, other places that I don't know because I'm not a Mainer. Um,
Right.
but that's what, from our last count from our programs director, that was the amount of people coming up. And, we have such a great leadership and we have such a strong community that I think we're able to do more. And especially out in the counties, a lot of these food pantries, the local food pantries, are run by like an 85-year-old couple. And do they have a
In their
succession
home
plan?
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and thinking about how that's going to happen, this is such an older state, and so many of the people who've been involved in these programs have been around for a long time, and the new people who are moving here um don't have that sense of responsibility to this community.
Right.
And so, we think about that a lot too, is what happens next.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the new Mainers, they're different. We have a lot of the new Mainers who work in our community, in our community kitchen, in our volunteer base, um, in the gleaning programs, the new Mainer farms. But I'm talking about, the people buying the $500,000 houses. Like, are they going to feel the
Right.
responsibility of the community that others of us do?
Right. Yeah, sure. And so, to that point, Allie, I just want to make sure to shout you out because you were saying before we hit record that you moved there from Philadelphia, but then, New York and Philadelphia, and you didn't know anybody, and you chose to meet people by going to volunteer. And I think that's so meaningful, and it just says so much about you. And, clearly that's why you're part of it because you inserted yourself into the community and you said, how can I be part of this? And
Yeah.
and that's so important because there are so many people that just don't feel connected, but they're also not. I can say that for myself in Virginia here that I'm like, I go to the farmer's market and that's about it. But, people that may move in and be like, I've got this nice house on the water or whatever, and I'm just like separate from everyone. And that's, that might be fine for them. But for someone who, especially, you have your own business and you want to be part of that and, get some business. So how do you meet people? You meet people by making connections where people are.
Yep. And when I moved here, I did not have my own business. I had a terrible job. Um, Not that all jobs are terrible. My job was terrible. But I think also it's so much harder. Like when I was in Philadelphia, I had a hard time even finding a way to volunteer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, there were some incredible food systems in Philadelphia, Manna, for example. But it was not as like personal. It was like you're gonna go in and you're gonna wear your hairnet and pack food to go to people, and there wasn't the one-on-one. And when I first started with Mid Coast Hunger, our soup kitchen, we were before COVID, it was like a cafeteria.
Hmm.
So you're like a lunch lady behind the counter, and I got to know all these people in my community
Right.
from feeding them and being like, oh yeah, you don't like tomatoes, so I have this for you. And or I saved this part for you because I know you love the drumstick. And just being able to, I think, know people from all levels of my community is what makes this so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know how else other people, I guess other people meet people because they join clubs or they play golf or they play tennis or whatever. Or they book clubs. I'm not a book club girly. No one wants me in their book club.
Same.
Way too
But
opinionated for a
everyone
book
likes
club.
to eat, and so that's
I know, I'm like, oh, this book sucked. I don't want to read
well,
it.
everyone doesn't like to eat, but everyone needs to eat.
Everyone does need to eat. But I still don't want to be in a book club. It sounds horrible. For me, I just what else? I would rather go feed people.
Yeah, for sure. And so what do you do? What do you do on the board? What's
I am
your
the
on the
chair
board?
of the development committee
Okay.
right now. So I work uh, to get people to give us money in fundraise and find ways to have to get different kinds of involvement. And we've had different people in this position who have been more focused on different, they're like very astute financial people, and I'm not. So I'm just trying to do community outreach. I'm also the co-chair of our new harvest dinner, which is on September 24th, which is going to be amazing. We refigured it from a single restaurant sit down 3-course dinner to a chef event with 6 different chefs, a
Awesome.
cocktail hour, and a 3-course dinner of all donated local food. And it's going to be amazing. And that's really what I do. So, and I sit in the board meetings and try to understand what they're saying a lot.
Well, but you're there and you're doing it, and I think
Yeah,
that I think again it says so much about who you are and how passionate you are for the cause, because you're there in a place where you feel like you don't understand what's going on, but you still want to be part of it. Um, and I think it's also really I think it's really cool that of the that you're very different from the other people that have held the position that you have. But I think that that also says so much about you, because you're so connected, because even as an outsider, like from someone who did not grow up there, you're the one that they're having people reach out to others. Like, I just think that's really cool.
thank you.
It's a big job for sure.
It is a big chunk.
But I
I
think
mean,
in the last few
I'm the
years, like,
interim one right now.
yeah,
So we'll see if I stay on as that. It's because it came out in like my busiest time of the year. But and it's not, it's asking people for money is the least fun part of
anything.
anything. And I worked as a salesperson for a really long time, and it's such a different way of accepting a no than people who've worked in like politics or fundraising. They're so used to people saying no, it doesn't matter. You just keep asking, keep
Right.
asking, keep asking.
Right.
And, I'm like, oh no, they said no, move on to the no, no, no.
Right. But
And
when it comes to the community people and they're saying no to helping feed people, that's really hard.
sometimes it's not no, a lot of times it's not now,
Right.
or we're committed to a different cause, or, you know, I give to cancer research, or I give to animals.
Right.
Nobody has few people have unlimited funds.
Right.
I mean, I've seen some people who I think they might. Um, they feel pretty comfortable buying buildings and things. Um, but it's the no's are no, not, I think it's that the no is not always no, I don't care.
Right.
Right. It's this isn't like I can't do it now, or I give elsewhere, or whatever, but
Right.
I think the other thing is to say there's a lot of people, a lot of our donors are monthly donors. And even if they give like $25 a month, because in this economy right now, a lot of it is there, but the grace of God go I. A lot of people are 2 or 3 paychecks away from visiting the food pantry.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure more every day. That's just
Yes.
for sure. My goodness. But I mean, anyway, the work that you're doing is so meaningful. I think that you with Balaboosta and also the Mid Coast Hunger Prevention, I bless you for all that you're doing, and bless them, of course, that it's you said 42 years.
I think it's 42. We might even be 45. I don't remember when I got this shirt that says 40 years. This is the stuff I'm not good at.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's been a while, and it started out as
a long time.
a little organization, and now it's
Little organization just doing lunch.
yeah.
And now, like I said, a lot of it has to do with our incredible leadership. Hannah Chattelbosch, who's our executive director, is fantastic.
Hmm.
And the whole team is amazing. Like, it's really such a dedicated, like even our like people are staying with us longer than most people stay with jobs, because they're so good. Like, you just watch them do what they do, and so many hits, like getting through COVID, getting through this whole nonsense now. Like, we're not through it, we're in the middle of it. But they're just so resilient and so smart and so dedicated that it's impressive
Right.
to me to just watch them work.
Right. And I mean, I know that Hannah is pretty young. So I think that,
Yeah.
there's just this newer generation of leadership has just so much energy and so much kindness. Not that others haven't had kindness, but I just get this feeling of like inclusion and just a real sense of care.
Yeah. And I think we've always, I mean, I don't think there's been a point in Mid Coast hunger prevention where we didn't have an incredibly caring, empathetic group of people. I think the opportunities that this particular group of like vibrant, young people are, it just it just has happened. I mean, it hasn't just happened. It's done through, we're all standing on the backs of everybody else's work, you know?
Yeah.
So it's all led up to
Yep.
this moment of just
Right.
something really magical.
It's because of everyone, and this new leadership is just taking it to a new level. Because I know just in the last 3 years, maybe was it 3 years ago, the
When
move.
we moved to the landing, yeah, and then we recently purchased the building, um, thanks to a very generous gift from the building owner. We were able to purchase the building, um, and it's now called the Wright Center for Food Security. Wright Center for Food Security doesn't come off my tongue very easily, but it's it's a new moment. And it's like one of those things where like it's almost sad that we need to be here, but it's incredible that we're here.
Yep. And that the space is just opening up for everyone to, because we know that it's needed so badly.
Yeah. And then just to do a little side note, we also have a community kitchen, which is functioning as an incubator for small businesses, small food businesses, me being one of them. And that's been such a gift to the community as well.
Yeah. I know when I was looking for a community kitchen, a commercial kitchen, I couldn't find it.
Yeah, they're not easy.
Well, I
to
mean, I
find.
did rent on the landing, but it was not cheap.
Oh, I know which one you rented. Terrible floors.
Yes. Um, yes. But I mean, I think that I just think the work you guys are all doing is so great. And I think it's so important, as we talked about, to know where your food is coming from. And also, I think it's such a good sort of template for other food pantries. I don't know what everyone else is doing, but I think that, there are farmers everywhere. And so if the farmers have excess, or if you have a program where you can buy from farmers or something, I don't know what kind of funding is out there. I don't know how it all works, but something in the Brunswick area has just really, it's just really worked out. I mean,
Yeah,
everyone's working together to feed people, and we just need more of that.
100%.
Hmm. But so what does the word sustainability mean to you, Allie?
Avoiding this. I'm so bad at answering direct questions. Um, I I feel like it's something that is sustainability to me means being part of the whole circle, as opposed to just having one piece of the pie. Like you're all of it. You're from, the whole life cycle of anything, from going to the farm to having what I've purchased at the farm help raise money for a nonprofit, that full circle, or to nourish someone in my community. And that it's not sustainability isn't about one particular action. It's a series of actions that all work together,
Right.
doing hand movements that nobody can see because it's a podcast.
It's on YouTube.
And
If you guys go on YouTube, you'll see what she's saying. I totally get that. Like it's like the circle of life. You
yeah,
are buying from someone to feed someone else, and that will go into the community. It's just keeping it all like sort of local and
right.
taking care of each other. Dang it.
Stem to root, nose to tail, farm to table, all of it's the same thing of continuing that cycle, that everything has a worth, and that's part of it too, is when you're cooking stem to root, nose to tail, whatever, you're finding worth in every piece,
Hmm.
which is, a very European attitude of cooking,
Yep.
and I think of living, but I think that the analogy of that everything has a value
Yeah.
is important is what sustainability.
Right.
That's
Yeah. And to
it's-
respect life. I think,
yeah.
also, not to consider anything, waste. Like that's, I love the way that you call it food recovery because, food waste is so, it's sort of, it's like a buzzword and it, what you mean when you say food waste, but it kind of gives it like I was saying before, I can't really think of the right word, but it gives it sort of a down feeling.
Well,
Um,
yeah, because there is a tremendous amount of food waste, but we're in the process of recovering that food.
yeah. Yeah. And I think, something in the Brunswick area is just like really pinning in on that because I know, I had Matt Chappell from Harvest Maine on the
Oh
podcast.
yeah, he started at the community kitchen.
Yes. And now he's in the kitchen that I was in before.
Yes, that's what I said. I know that kitchen.
But the fact that those guys are doing upcycled foods, and using farm seconds to create these incredible treats, I think that's so it's just so cool. And then the farmers are donating to the food pantry, and that the chefs are getting involved in that to make sure that people have good nourishing food. And I think it's a really beautiful thing, for my home area to just support each other. It's such a strong community. It really is.
Yeah, I don't know what I did in a past life that let me end up here, but I'm pretty happy that it happened.
For real. I was just gonna say, like, thank goodness you showed up when you did, Allie. I mean,
For me, mostly.
what an important piece you are to the puzzle.
I mean, there's a lot of people who are doing what I do.
There are a lot of
But
people doing what you do, but they're also not you.
yeah.
I feel like, I don't get to talk to them all. And
Right.
I totally would if I could, but I just think that, someone who is passionate enough to approach someone that they don't know and say, "Hey, can I talk to you about what Mid Coast Hunger Prevention Program is doing to save food?" And also to just talk about it and so freely. I think that, there's like it's the public. I think it's sort of the public thing. There are a lot of people that want to be behind the scenes, and that's fine. And I'm not saying that you're looking for any glory or anything like that, but just the fact that you're bringing this to light, I think it's so important. And I think that, if there are any people, if you are listening to this podcast or watching this on YouTube and you are inspired by what Allie is saying about Mid Coast Hunger Prevention and what she's doing in general, because it's amazing, check in with her, check into Mid Coast Hunger Prevention, because it is a program it is built solid, and they are doing really good work. And now I'm going to start to cry.
I know, you're like, don't cry. Don't let's
So I just think
end
that
this crying.
we need to spread this message because it's so important. There are going to be more and more hungry people, and someone needs to feed them.
Mhm.
And so if you are a chef that has passion and you have the ability, or if you know of a farmer that has excess, or if you know of a food bank that has the ability to take on any more, um, check into all of this. And so in that moment, Allie, how can we follow you, follow Balaboosta? How can we get in touch with and follow and learn more about Mid Coast Hunger Prevention Program?
So to start with MCHPP.org is how to reach out on their website. My website is Balaboosta, Mebalaboosta, Balaboosta Me, Balaboosta Maine. My Instagram is at Balaboosta Maine. And my personal Instagram is at Aliwaks, ALIWAKS. And that's all the ways you can find me, or you just Google me.
Awesome. And Mid Coast Hunger Prevention is also on all the socials.
Yes, they are. But I don't know how they're all split out.
Same. But it'll be in the show notes. I'll make sure to get that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Allie, thank you so much. This has
Thank
been
you,
a
Amy.
real
Thank you
pleasure.
so much. This was so awesome. Let me know when you are in town.
Will do, for sure.
Good. Seriously. I'm
Okay.
gonna take you on a tour. I'm gonna buy you a coffee. Let's do all the things.
Okay, very cool. That sounds like a plan.
Good.
I just want to take a second to thank my guest again for speaking with me and sharing such great information. I love having these conversations with folks. I also want to thank Buzzsprout for hosting the podcast, for Jane Bolduck and her music genius, for Becca Coffron and her award-winning artwork. And thank you for listening. I appreciate that so much. Please check out the show notes for any links and extra information. And if you would like to follow my guest and find out more about them, I'm sure they would love the follow. And if you don't mind leaving a rating or review wherever you're listening, and just help to get this podcast in front of new eyes, that would be amazing. I would really love that. And feel free to reach out to me on the socials and let me know what you're thinking. And if you would like to be a guest on the podcast, please let me know that. I would love to have a conversation with you about sustainability. All right. Thank you again. I hope you have a great rest of the week.
There'll come a day, my mama told me, when I find love to have and hold me, a heart that's strong and so sincere. Just tell me, how do I get there from here? Oh, tell me, how do I get there from here? 'Cause here and now I'm so far down that mercy's bound to find me. We'll find a way to soothe the sickness. We'll heal the hate with sweet forgiveness. Wages of war will disappear. Just tell me, how do I get there from here? I wonder, how do I get there from here? Yeah, 'cause here and now I'm so far down that mercy's bound to find me. When that state of grace has finally found me, well, there'll be music, ooh, and good friends around me, yeah. And I'll just smile through happy tears.